China. It's definitely one of the countries of all time. It's known for a lot of things. And whether you immediately think of negative or positive aspects about the country, China has its own wacky breed of lolcows and internet screw-ups. Some might be more well-known than others. One of these lesser-known persons is someone who gets compared to Chris Chan, and that is the online philosopher Yang Fan, better known as Duren 13.
赶走我傲骨速度，抢了野蛮撒边的老婆。
Now, before we dive into the story of Yang, we need to talk about a few things first. Yang is notorious for a handful of things. 1. Eating his own human source. 2. Creating his own version of civilization. And lastly, 3. His brain upgrades, which I can best summarize is his own unique way of self-improvement. I also want to quickly add that a lot of his story is very disconjointed, somewhat due to the poor translation I'm working with, and a lot of the in-jokes and memes that get made about Yang have a lot of backstory that I don't particularly understand. But with that, let's get into who exactly Yang Fan is. Yang Fan was born on the 11th of April 1986 in Hunan province. His early childhood was rough, with his parents divorcing early into his life. It's said that his grandmother was the primary supporter during this time. Yang would also become known for one particular incident in middle school. During this time, Yang was known to be quite the chef, selling his own homemade food, such as traditional Chinese fruit salad and chicken wings. Many people questioned whether his food was made in sanitary conditions. So, Yang decided to create a video to address these concerns. However, the video had the opposite effect. Yang showcased a basin holding ingredients, which he apparently also used for other activities, such as gooning off. The video went viral throughout the middle school, resulting in Yang losing all of his customers. He was also allegedly beaten up by a gang over this incident. This would not be the last time he would use his own special sauce in his cooking. Yang was always better at doing things with his hands, and in his local village, he was seen as quite the inventor. School life was always challenging for him, and even though he moved on to high school in 2003, Yang himself admitted to having no interest in studying, often skipping school to play slot machines. During this time, he also discovered his true passion in life, philosophy. After leaving high school, Yang joined the armed police force and served as a border guard for 2 years. During this time, Yang created his first philosophical work, Civilized Country. This manifesto described his civilization savage theory, which is the core of his sociological system. In Yang's civilization, there are barbarians and civilized people. This was later refined into 3 class sets per the 2 main groups: low level, mid level, and high level. Yang's goal was to assign people into these 6 roles. He envisioned governing the world in a way similar to a republic, but not entirely, as he believed that republics are flawed and would allow low-level savages into their systems. To combat this, he proposed creating a constitution that would remove barbaric individuals from government positions. Some characteristics that Yang considered barbaric included those who infringed on private property, those who discriminate, those with a savior complex, those who promote abstinence, utopians, vegans, cultists, terrorists, and those who talked about space colonization. This manifesto is one of the most insane that I've ever seen and read. The viewpoints are purely just brain rot, and it seems like Yang labels people he dislikes as barbarians. Note, this is just one of his many philosophical manifestos created by Yang, and they likely become more insane as he built up a following. Yes, Yang actually has fans who follow his writings. While there may not be many hardcore followers, some people follow him to ridicule and make memes about him. Nevertheless, people in China keep a close watch on his story. Yang takes his philosophy very seriously. In one incident on a large Chinese forum, Yang claimed to be the last philosopher in the world. Yang also struggled to hold down a job his entire life. His time in the military was his longest period of consistent employment. Apart from sharing his philosophy online, Yang made posts in 2014, seeking dates and begging for money. He didn't want to rely on his grandmother for financial support anymore. He continued to make such begging posts the following year, making another marriage proposal announcement, but with no success. In 2016, Yang adopted a new online username. Up until then, he had used numerous online usernames. From that point onward, he became officially known as Duren13 online. He quit another job that year and returned to relying on his family. Yang's story is only going to get more convoluted and insane from here on out. In 2017, Yang began to create a lot more online content separate from his philosophical works, including videos and live streams on major Chinese video sharing and live streaming sites. Some of these videos make little to no sense and are not translated. Some standouts include Yang demonstrating how to eat a banana, cosplay videos, and what could only be described as skits. He also moved to Twitter during this time, aiming to upgrade the brains of major figures in the world's political and scientific circles, which pretty much involves him harassing people on Twitter and annoying public figures like Stephen Hawking. Yang experienced a minor incident on the 30th of March 2017, known as the Short Sword Incident. A group made threats to bomb a forum in China and use Yang as a shield to some effect. This resulted in Yang receiving numerous phone calls and text messages asking what the hell was up. The situation only worsened for Yang when the Public Security Bureau summoned him for questioning about breaking the Great Firewall, which is used by the CCP to control internet access and information flow. Yang would only receive a minor warning. Around this time, Yang also acquired a new nickname, the Vietnam War Veteran, due to edited photos showing him with an AK-type rifle in a homemade trench that he dug in his village. This nickname references the Miao minority's involvement in the Vietnam War, and this nickname is used quite a lot to refer to Yang. A month later, Yang declared war on North Korea, because of course he did, believing that Trump's visit had not accomplished enough, and that only a nuclear strike would solve the problem. Yang has a fascination with nuclear weapons, seeing them as a necessary evil to create a civilized country and cleanse the world of barbarians. In 2018, Yang released a book titled Creating Medicine for Humanity, which allegedly criticized Billy Harrington for insulting China. Harrington was an adult film actor who became a meme, very much so in Asia. Yang also began creating artwork by live streaming and drawing donators' profile pictures. He did this in a very convoluted manner, which involved him counting pixels and using both hands to draw. Other notable events in 2018 include Yang painting his own flag in the snow after heavy snowfall, relaunching his plan to travel to Mars to establish a pure civilization, and creating a civilization legion system based off the Roman legion system. This system ultimately failed as the appointed leaders rebelled against him. Yang also had a civil war in his fan group after individuals used voice changes to prank him, pretending to be women, leading to a conflict with his followers and the involvement of the Communist Youth League. In 2019, Yang made a post imitating a woman's voice and claiming to have urinated the bed. Given his history of eating his own special sauce and feeding people his own special sauce in his cooking, it's not entirely implausible that he would have done this. Throughout much of 2019, Yang continued to make bizarre posts, declaring war on various individuals, engaging in online disputes, playing video games, and creating videos. He also attempted to meet a potential spouse in another village, but with no success. He also made several posts in February discussing his special sauce consumption. Why does he talk about eating his own special sauce? I have no clue, but he does it and apparently he's proud of it. In 2020, Yang suffered a severe motorcycle accident, losing his 2 upper teeth. He continued to seek a wife, but was unsuccessful. In 2021, Yang held a part-time job as a delivery person at KFC, and considered moving away from his small town due to housing prices. He faced trouble for criticizing the game Genshin Impact, which led to him receiving DMs from players. In 2022, Yang left his small town for Shenyang. He continued making videos, sharing his philosophy, and making bizarre comments online. He allegedly also got into a fight, but apparently he didn't fight back. In 2023, Yang made some interesting statements online, including claiming that Taiwan was a better country than China, making inappropriate posts directed at the vice chairman of a Chinese company for some reason, suggesting having a large forehead is a defining characteristic for his civilized people, criticizing his own race, and claiming that the European Space Agency was a fake. But since 2023, Yang's trail has gone cold. Unless he's posting on some Chinese forum unknown to me, it seems like he may have stepped back from public life. Or maybe the Chinese government got sick of him. I don't know what happened to Yang, but for his sake, I hope it's nothing bad. In my mind, Yang Fan is probably the most insane I've ever read about. His manifestos and beliefs are so strong and just honestly insane. From reading his civilized country, I can definitely tell that if he had the power and a gun, I'm sure he would wreak havoc upon the world. There is an insane amount of law that goes on behind the scenes, with wars and infighting in his community. If it's real, there's enough content there that you could make many novels about them. I had to leave a lot of content out of this video because honestly, I just couldn't make sense of what was happening most of the time. It doesn't help that I don't speak Chinese. I just find it really interesting that people like this actually exist in the world. But what do you think about Yang Fan? Is he at all similar to Chris Chan in your eyes? What do you think happened to him? And as always, thanks for watching this video to the end. Thanks again.